Okay, folks, my name is Jason. I'm the proprietor of a master language course here in Jogja, and today, as my first audio blog entry or podcast or whatever, I will be sharing with you about how to improve your pronunciation, specifically how I achieved my English pronunciation. So this is very exciting for me actually. So let's begin. Some of the questions that I'd get asked a lot, actually, especially in the first few meetings with a new class, would include something like, are you really Indonesian? Did you ever live overseas? And why are you so unbelievably hip and wonderful? To which I would answer, yes, I'm an Indonesian. No, I've never lived overseas. And yes, thank you, I was born hip and wonderful. Yeah, what usually caused these people to ask these nice questions was my English pronunciation, which I have to boast a little, is pretty spot on. So I'm an Indonesian, born and bred. I was actually born in Jogja, this wonderful little city in the center of Java, where I'm currently living. I moved to Pekanbaru at the age of 4 to live with my grandma. And then I moved to Batam before moving back to Jogja to pursue my bachelor's degree in English education. And no, I've never really lived overseas. The longest I've spent overseas was the 3 months in Singapore when I had to take care of my sick grandpa, who's in heaven now, bless him. However, that one doesn't really contribute to my pronunciation, if I'm to be honest, since, well, have you heard Singaporeans speak Singlish? So, how did I achieve my pronunciation? Well, the one thing that really helped was the fact that I've always loved repeating new words, and they don't necessarily have to be English. I remember when I was about 9, my cousin Henry and we loved watching this Japanese superhero show called Kamen Rider. And every time the heroes show up, the villains would yell, "Bakero!" in exasperation, because, once again, their evil plan was about to be foiled. And so we would follow these villains and yell "Bakero" at each other during play fights and, all the time. And by the end of the day, our pronunciation of the word would be more or less like how the villains would say it. Years later, I learned that the word was baka and yaro, or bakearo, when spoken really quickly, which would literally mean stupid person. I still don't quite get why that's offensive or why villains would say that every time the heroes show up, but I do have a sense that you should never ever say that to a Japanese person, like ever. Anyway, so obviously I picked up quite a bit of Japanese words other than that bakayaro, but what I learned from that experience was that repetition was key. When I moved to Batam at around the age of 10, I found that the TVs there could intercept broadcasts from Singapore and Malaysia, which was extremely cool. And there was this Singaporean channel called Channel 5, and it was an English channel that actually showed a lot of American cartoons and TV series. And, well, my English was really still horrible back then, so I wouldn't be able to completely understand what I was watching. But I was still able to say a few words right because I kept repeating whatever I could hear. Then my mom, the English teacher, decided enough was enough and began properly teaching me English, which would go on for a couple of years or so. People, that really boosted my cartoon watching experience. By the time I was halfway through junior high school, that is grade 8-ish, my English capabilities had shot through the roof. I was speaking in an accurate American accent and in accurate grammar that it mystified everybody, including, surprisingly, even my mother. I would actually have to point out from time to time that it was her who taught me. What, she couldn't believe she'd done such a good job? I mean, she's an excellent teacher, by the way, who's helped so many of my friends achieve similar excellence in English proficiency. So all in all, how did I hone my pronunciation? Repetition, people. Repetition. Like, for example, I'd watch 30-minute cartoons like Captain Simian and the Space Monkeys, or Captain Planet or whatever. And of course, as I got older, also TV series like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or like Friends. And I would repeat whatever sentences I could hear to death. Well, I actually have to say it, it's actually much easier nowadays to improve your pronunciation. I mean, I had to move all the way to Batam to be able to get English shows, but people can now just search on YouTube and get so much more. And with subtitles. I mean, I would have killed to get some subtitles for my Sunday morning cartoons. See, if you really want to improve your English, it's really, really possible nowadays. Why not stop your PewDiePie watching marathon for a minute or two and watch something that you could actually use to practice your pronunciation? I mean, I like Pewds, but you know, he yells a little too much. And if you're too old for cartoons or, you know, PewDiePie, why not watch some documentaries like, you know, the excellent Begin Japanology series by NHK? This series is wonderful. It has excellent English, and you get to learn a lot about Japan. And also you can turn on that CC, the closed caption button, which basically means the subtitles, and actually start narrating the show along with a narrator. That is extremely cool. And just in case you're worried that your English pronunciation isn't up to scratch, which, no offense, you know, pronunciation, it's tough. You know, you can now very easily check the word's pronunciation online on maybe, you know, oxforddictionaries.com. Heck, you could even check it on Google by simply typing in a word in the search bar. For example, if you type menagerie, M-E-N-A-G-E-R-I-E, you'll be taken to a page where you can even hear how the word is pronounced. I would never have been able to do that when I was still learning English. Now, I think what we have right now is an abundance of resources all over the internet, which has made learning a language so much easier that we would be a fool not to use it. So, guys, if you want to improve your pronunciation, start scouring the internet for materials and pronounce away. Be consistent, and in no time you'll improve so much you'll get asked if you'd lived overseas. Okay, then, people, Jason out. Peace.